Hello everyone, and welcome back to Raw Harvest Line. Today, we are going to dive deep into a topic that touches almost every single one of us. One of the biggest, most silent pains in life is the act of comparing yourself to others. We often find ourselves looking at someone else and thinking, why is she so successful and I'm not? Why does he have everything while I struggle? But in those moments, we fail to understand a crucial truth. Her path and mine are not the same. Our chapters are written differently. Remember this famous saying, if a fish judges itself by its ability to fly like a bird, it will spend its whole life believing that it is stupid, even if it is a master swimmer capable of crossing the entire ocean. These days, the pressure is even heavier. Because of social media, this toxic habit of comparing ourselves has become even worse. We scroll through our phones, seeing someone else's highlight reels, their vacations, their wins, their perfect moments, and we start to feel like our own life is small, boring, or insignificant. We forget our own unique talents because we are too busy looking at someone else's. And this kind of thinking slowly pushes people into a deep state of sadness and hopelessness. That is why today's story on Raw Harvest Line is dedicated to anyone who has ever felt the heavy thought, I'll never be as good as them. Please listen carefully because every line in this story has the power to change the way you think about yourself. Once, in a small, peaceful village nestled near a bustling town, there was a breathtaking landscape. Beside that village stood a big, beautiful, an ancient forest filled with the sounds of nature. In that village lived a young boy named Ethan. Ethan was known for being a hard-working and incredibly kind boy who would always help his neighbors. But, despite his good heart, there was one bad habit that made him feel sad and heavy-hearted all the time. He always compared himself with others. Whenever he went to school and saw his friend Liam, who was brilliant at academics, always getting the best grades in class without seeming to try, Ethan would sigh and think, I wish I was as smart as him. Why isn't my brain that fast? Then he would look at his neighbor, Ryan, whose family was very wealthy. Ryan always had the newest toys and clothes. Ethan would look at his own simple clothes and think, I wish I had money like him. Life would be so much easier. Even during sports, if he saw someone running faster than him on the field, he would criticize himself, thinking, why can't I run that fast? I'm just not good enough. These constant negative thoughts made Ethan feel more and more unhappy. It became a heavy cloud over his head. He couldn't focus on his studies because his mind was elsewhere. He didn't enjoy doing the things he used to love. All the time, the same loop played in his mind. I'll never be like them. I am falling behind. One sunny day, a wise old man visited the village. He was a traveler with a long white beard and kind eyes. Everyone affectionately called him Grandpa Joe. He was known for his wisdom. He always gave helpful advice, and people loved listening to his stories. Seeing an opportunity, Ethan went up to him, his shoulders slumped. He said, Grandpa Joe, I work really hard. I try my best. But when I see someone doing better than me or having more than me, I feel really sad inside. It feels like I'll never be like them, and I feel like a failure. Grandpa Joe looked at the boy with compassion, smiled gently, and said, I have an answer for you, Ethan. Come to the oldest tree in the village near the edge of the forest tomorrow morning. You'll find all your answers waiting there. The next morning, with the air fresh and crisp, Ethan went to the old tree. Grandpa Joe was already waiting there, sitting on a large root, enjoying the morning breeze. He stood up and said, Ethan, look around this forest carefully. Tell me, what do you see? Ethan looked around at the greenery and said, Grandpa, I see so many different trees. Some are extremely tall, touching the sky. Some are short and bushy. Some have lots of bright fruits, and some have none at all, just leaves. Grandpa Joe smiled and asked. Now think about this. If this apple tree looked over and compared itself to the tall coconut tree and said, "Oh no, why am I so short? Why can't I be tall like that?" Or if the coconut tree looked down and said, "I wish I had sweet red fruits like the apple tree instead of these hard shells," how would that sound to you? Ethan laughed for the first time in a while and said, "That would sound really silly, Grandpa. They are completely different plants." Then Grandpa Joe asked, "Exactly. Okay, now tell me. When you look at them all together, how does this whole forest feel to you?" Ethan took a deep breath and replied, "It feels very peaceful, balanced, and beautiful. Everything seems just right. The variety makes it perfect." Grandpa Joe nodded and said, "Just like life, Ethan. Every tree in this forest has its own special quality, its own purpose. In the same way, every person also has different strengths and a different timeline. The apple tree gives sweet fruit to eat. The coconut tree is tall, strong, and provides refreshing water. They are different, but both are equally important to the forest. One is not better than the other. They are just different." Then Grandpa Joe took Ethan by the hand and walked him near a clear, quiet pond. There were many fish swimming gracefully in the water, and a little further away a hawk was soaring high in the sky. Grandpa Joe pointed and said, "Now imagine if one of those fish looked up and said, 'I feel so useless because I wish I could fly like that bird.' Would that be right?" Ethan shook his head immediately. "Not at all. Fish are made for swimming. They are masters of the water. And birds are made for flying. If a fish tried to fly, it would die." Grandpa Joe smiled warmly and said gently, "Then why do you want to be like someone else? You are like that fish or that apple tree. You have your own path. You have many good qualities, talents, and gifts that are unique to you. Maybe you just don't see them yet because you are too busy looking at others. Find your strengths, accept who you are, and move forward with them." After hearing Grandpa Joe's words, something shifted deep inside Ethan. The heavy cloud lifted. He understood clearly for the first time. Every person is different, and comparing yourself to others is a game you can never win. It only brings pain. From that day on, Ethan stopped comparing himself with anyone. He stopped looking at Liam's grades or Ryan's money with jealousy. Instead, he started focusing on his own talents, his kindness, and his own work. Slowly but surely, his confidence came back. Life began to feel fresh, colorful, and exciting again. A few years later, with his hard work and focus, Ethan built his own successful business, doing something he truly loved. He became an inspiration for the whole village. Whenever someone young and unsure asked him, "Ethan, how did you become so successful?" he would smile, remembering the old tree, and say, "Never compare yourself with others. That is the secret. If a fish tries to fly, it will always feel like a failure. But if it focuses on swimming, it can own the whole ocean. Remember, the sun and the moon don't shine at the same time. They have their own time to shine, and both are important. Find your path, walk it in your own way, and don't worry about anyone else's journey. That's when real success comes." Thank you for watching this story on Raw Harvest Line. If you like this story and found value in it, please give it a like and share it with others who might need to hear this message. See you again in a new story where we continue to grow together.